Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. The official Battlefield Facebook page has just posted 4 brand new images of the reworked specialists coming in early August. Now they are only showing us 4 of the reworked specialists and they're not exactly giving us much detail on what the rework is going to be. But what these 4 images do show us is that DICE are going to be altering the looks of all these specialists as well. They're basically trying to achieve a more gritty, grungy look for each of the specialists that will actually help them fit more into the world of Battlefield 2042. Now, the world of Battlefield 2042 is supposed to be this horrendously apocalyptic, futuristic, gritty world where the world is at war, everybody's starving, everybody's desperate, there's natural disasters everywhere that are far worse than the world has ever seen. The world is supposed to be not a very nice place to live in, and instead the game launched with that very colourful palette with all the cheesy lines that happen at the end of the game. And it just wasn't, it was a bit tone deaf. You know, the game was trying to go in one direction, the lore and the narrative team were trying to go in one direction, but then it seems like the rest of the development studio went in a completely other direction, and that's why we have, you know, a world that's supposed to be all apocalyptic and gritty, but instead we have this, you know, cheesy chat up lined Mckay speaking at the end of the round, talking about how awesome he is. So these new images are supposed to basically be our first taste at maybe the game getting back towards the narrative, the lore, the way the world is supposed to be, the way the world is supposed to be represented, and the way the specialists are supposed to be represented as well. So without further ado, let's take a look at some of these new images released by DICE. So this is the official Facebook post by DICE. I'm sure this is going to be on their official website as well for Battlefield 2042, but the post reads, "Our specialists are getting a makeover. While we're still a bit away from getting these into the game, here's a peek at what you could expect to see heading your way in early August." So here they're giving you obviously a bit of a taste of the 4 specialists that are getting a bit of a rework. Now, I actually had to pull up images of what the specialists look like in-game currently for me to actually be able to tell a difference, because when you look at them on the face of it, yeah, they look like a bit gritty and they look a bit more serious. Obviously, that's because they're pulling a more serious facial expression and they're not exactly showing off kind of the emotions that you see in-game right now. But obviously for this video, I've actually pulled up the vanilla looks for them as they are in-game right now, and I'm going to show you obviously a before and after. So yeah, so this is obviously Angel as he is in game right now. Obviously he looks fairly clean. At the end of the day, he's got no dirt on him whatsoever, and he hasn't got a beard. And this is the Angel rework. So obviously he has got, you know, substantially more dirt around all of him. He's got more grease. It looks like some of his armor's taken a bit of a beating. He's got a bit more of a serious tone to him as well. Obviously he's got some more dirt on his face, and he actually is sporting a beard now. Obviously you expect somebody in this level of war, this theatre of war, they wouldn't be clean shaven, probably not, you know, given the way the world is and kind of how the world is going on and everything that's around the world of Battlefield 2042. You don't expect somebody to have the time to go around being clean shaven all the time. They're probably going to have a lot of beard and stubble. They're probably not going to be looking very happy. So you can kind of see a difference there. And his goggles or his whatever have been reworked as well. So obviously they're very, very clean in the vanilla look. Obviously they're quite see-through as well. And in this rework, obviously they're obviously darker, and obviously they've got that cosmetic scratch to them as well, like they've actually been in battle, and he's obviously picked up some debris. So that is the Angel rework for you right there. Now this is Boris, obviously as he looks right now. Once again, he looks very, very clean. He's got a very well-trimmed beard, very well-trimmed hair at the end of the day, and once again his armor looks far too cleanly for saying he's supposed to be in war. And obviously this is him now. His hair looks darker. I don't know if that's just because of the way DICE have done the images and the way they've edited them. But once again, of course, skipping past the fact that obviously he's pulling a more serious facial expression, he does look like he's a bit more, you know, gritty. His armor certainly is dirtier. He also got more dirt on his face. His hair and his beard aren't as perfect as they were in the vanilla image. Obviously they're a bit more, you know, loose, and things are a bit more, I don't know, they're just not as clean and as perfectly trimmed as they were before. So yeah, I'm down with this. Now the next one is Falck. Obviously we all know Falck. She looks extremely clean here. Her armor doesn't look like it looks brand new, completely brand new. And of course now in the rework, she looks pretty much the same. Obviously you can't exactly give women a beard in this game because that would look really, really bizarre. But she is of course sporting a bit more dirt to the face. Obviously she looks a bit more serious. She looks serious even in the vanilla game as well, and even when you heard her speak those cheesy lines in the at the end of game screen, which of course have been removed, she still looked pretty serious. But she looks a bit more serious now, and her armor has been altered. This looks like it could be the mastery armor because it's got that red and black look to it. But for the most part, she looks pretty much the same. But still, there's that gritty look to it, which is pretty cool. But that could just be the way the images have been edited. And finally, this is the one that I actually had to really take a good look at because I thought, hang on a minute, this is the way Mckay looks in the game already. But I was completely wrong. So of course, this is Mckay, as we all know, in his vanilla attire. Once again, looking very clean. His trousers actually look a bit more dirty, and even his top looks like it's got a bit more dirt on it compared to some of the other specialists in the game. And he looks, of course, he's very, very clean shaven, and he just looks pretty clean, pretty serious. And his rework, he actually looks like somebody out of an older Battlefield game. You know, he's got a beard, he's actually got some stubble. He's actually got very different looking armor as well compared to what he was wearing. And he just looks a bit more like a Battlefield character. This is the kind of character you'd expect to find in Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4. He just looks like he fits into the game now. And he looks just very, very serious. And even his hat has had a slight rework as well. He's got a bit more of a camo look to it as well. And I dig this look. I think this look looks really, really good for Mckay. I quite like all of the looks for all of the specialists. I think they all look really, really good. Of course, this is only 4 of them, and there are quite a few more to go. So it'll be interesting to see how they alter the rest of the specialists as well, including Liz, the brand new specialist. It's going to be interesting to see how they alter her, because I think she already looks like she doesn't look as clean as the other specialist. She already looks like she's potentially been a bit of a shit. You know, she's got some dirt on her face and on her armor, so maybe they designed her in mind with the way that they wanted to go with the specialists as well. Now, of course, all of this in mind, yes, it's nice for DICE to be giving us a bit of a sneak peek of the specialists and to see what direction that they are going with the specialists. And yes, while it's nice to see these images and to see a bit of a rework of the cosmetic side of things, this isn't really what we need. The one thing people weren't complaining about was these specialists look a bit too clean at the end of the day. I've seen a lot of people inside of that Facebook post saying, like, they're still mocking DICE a lot, and people are going to do that on the internet, but this isn't what we needed, DICE. Yes, I think it looks cool, and I think they do look like they fit into the game more now, but what you should be focusing on is gameplay mechanics, and new maps and weapons, and actually fixing the tone of the game and stuff like that, not giving us cosmetic reworks for the characters. You know, you've got a big studio that should all be hands on deck on fixing the game, and the one thing that didn't need fixing was the looks of the characters, if I'm honest. It just seems like, while it's a cool thing for them to do, it seems like it's the wrong direction for them to be going in at this moment in time. But that's just my personal opinion. At the end of the day, I have a feeling that other YouTubers are going to be probably potentially having a very similar mindset to me, that yeah, the specialists look cool and it's nice that they're going to fit into the game world more, but how often do you genuinely play the game, look at a specialist and think, they don't really fit into this game world? I've never thought that. Not once have I ever thought that whatsoever. So I don't know. While I do appreciate it, at the end of the day, I feel like this is how they should have launched. The specialists should have looked like this from the start. They fit into the game world more. They look more gritty. They look like they've genuinely been in this shit. And if they had launched like this, looking like this, without those cheesy lines at the end of the games, maybe they would have been, you know, thought of in a better way. You know, the community would have reacted to them better. But that's just my thoughts on these 4 images. But I'm going to hope to try and cover the Battlefield 2042 a bit more and be a bit more attentive to the blog posts and images and posts by DICE and by the official Battlefield socials as well in the future. So obviously stay up to date, of course, and hopefully this game gets where we want it to be. But thank you all for joining me today. If you enjoyed the video, then please do consider giving me a like. If you dislike the video, then a dislike. Subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much. See you then.